Hey guys, Jess here from Knockout Print Shop, and today I have for you my review, first impressions of the brand new Makse Life planner. So this is a new planner on the scene. It is created by a woman named Sierra Friend. She is at on Instagram at Planner Friend. So I'll link all of her, the Makse Life and her Instagram down below, as well as her website. So this is a planner that she created and is launching on the planner scene. And I was lucky enough to be invited by her to be part of her review team. So I got the planner ahead of time so I could review it for you guys and help you decide if this is a planner that you think is going to be right for you for 2020. So let's get started and talk about the packaging. So first things first, obviously it comes in a shipping box. It does come, this box itself comes in a cellophane baggie with a label down here letting you know which planner is in there. So this one we're going to start with is the 2020 Vertical. So it does come safely packaged, and the cool thing is it comes in this keepsake box, which I think is an awesome kind of little add-on. It does add a layer of quality, I think, to the planner. And when you are buying planners are not cheap, especially planners that are really well designed and high quality materials. So it's nice to have this little extra of a nice keepsake box. If you keep your planners, kind of store them year over year to look back at, there's a great thing to keep and store your planner in, or maybe throughout the year, where you can use this for tons of different things. But it's a really nice quality box. And when you're paying a premium for a planner, I think it is a nice touch when it comes in a keepsake box like this. So there's that. So you got that with her striped pattern, which is kind of her branding, as well as this gold foiled logo there. So let's open it up, show you this is a really nice box here that you can, again, use to store your planner or do with what you'd like. All right, so this is the Vertical. She wanted to make sure that the planner layouts were familiar to us as she's introducing this new planner kind of to the scene, so that people don't have to adjust their actual weekly planning style too much. So you'll see that this layout, once we get into this, is familiar. So let's start out with the actual planner itself. So you have the double O-ring binding with this kind of antiqued copper color, which is super cool. Nice quality coil binding. I tend to like this more than like spiral bound planners. I think this looks more high-end, so it's really nice. I like the color as well. The covers are pretty cool because she is going to pick an artist every year to design her covers. So this is a hand illustrated design. She talks about the artist over on her website and on Instagram, so if you want more information about that, you can head over there. But it is a very pretty floral design. I usually don't like floral patterns, but I think this is actually pretty cool. It's subtle enough color-wise that I don't think the pattern is so in your face. So you have that, and then the other one I'll show you is the yellow. So this is the light blue option, and it is that nice thick chipboard cover that you're used to, similar to Inkwell Press. You have that vinyl wrapped chipboard, and she does have a little bit of a texture to it so that it wears better. So when you get ones that are like this but they're smoother, they tend to show wear and tear more easily and more quickly. So it is nice that you can kind of hear there's a little bit of texture to the vinyl overlay here on the cover. And again, if you see the back, same thing. I do like that she kept the branding here on the back so that you're not looking at her logo or anything every time you open the planner. So you could definitely, put a vinyl decal on here, do something to personalize it if you wanted to without having the branding on the cover of your planner. So let me scoot this over. Oh, and then you also have obviously the elastic. I do think this is pretty cool. You can see the little grommet. So you have the built-in elastic here, which is nice to keep your planner closed while you are not using it. So let's open this bad boy up. So you have obviously your cover here. So again, you'll see this stripe pattern throughout her planner. That's again her kind of her branding and her look. Then you have your normal, like this planner belongs to page. I never fill these out. I don't know if you guys do. But obviously you have to have an intro page in your planner. So cool thing about her paper as we go through this, it is 120 GSM, so just a tiny, tiny bit thinner than Inkwell Press, and it is recycled. So that definitely speaks to my eco-friendly heart. I love that she used recycled paper in this planner, and it is brighter. It's more white than Inkwell Press's paper tends to be a little bit off-white. So this is a much more vibrant colored paper, which I like. I tend to like whiter paper better. So Very nice quality paper. So you have a little introduction from her. So if you don't know anything about Sierra, she is a life coach. She has 15 years of experience in business and life coaching. And she has been using this goal setting system with clients for years and put it into her planner. So it's pretty unique, I think, in the planner world that you have a planner that is actually based on a used goal setting system that a coach has used in practice. And there's really, to me, no other planners out there that the weekly planner is integrated with a real, effective goal setting system. Obviously, you have like the Inkwell Press Goal Planner, which is separate to their usual weekly planner. And then you have Power Sheets as well. I don't know a lot about Power Sheets. I know people love that whole system. It just doesn't speak to me. And I don't think that it is like a weekly planner too, although I think the new one is different. Anyways, there are some differences, quite a few differences between this planner and Power Sheets if you're a Power Sheets person. All to say that this is a very unique planner in the planner world when you want to integrate goal planning into your weekly system. I am like totally rambling. So anyways, she goes into her whole getting started system here, talking about her philosophy, her approach, different features that are in the planner so you know how to use this system, the steps of going through her assessment, setting intentions, setting goals, breaking them down into action steps, reflecting on them and checking in. And then you get into this next part where she talks to you about the assessment and the use of her life compass, and then you go into the actual assessment. So here's what I think is the cool thing about this, and I have not read all of this yet, but I have done the life assessment when she was offering it as a free download, which she will be doing it again as a free download for those of you that aren't sure about this planner, but you want to try the assessment. She will have a download to that soon, and as soon as she does, I will link it in this video below. But I like that this is very simple. So sometimes you get into these goal planners that have like pages upon pages of questions and reflection and digging and doing all of that. And to me, I actually have a background in psychology. I was a psychotherapist and I was a life coach as well. And even though I have that background, when it comes to setting goals, I think that less is more in the initial process. So I really appreciate that there's a simplicity in this kind of prep process into getting into goal setting, that you don't have to spend page after page of diving deep and reflecting. I think that type of goal setting can work for some people, but for those of us that are kind of overwhelmed by kind of having to go through this whole in-depth process just to set goals, this approach will definitely be better if you are like me and you just feel like you want to get into it and you don't want to have to like just reflect and spend pages figuring out what you want to do that year. So all of that to say, I like that there is thorough instructions in here and it's very clear, simple, and to the point. So again, you go into your scoring here, which I took this again before I got the planner. And I also had Matt, I read them to Matt and had him score me, and I could see the discrepancy and how I was viewing myself. And I think after doing that with him, I was a little bit more clear and had more realistic scores. So if you do this, I highly recommend that you do it yourself and then maybe have a spouse score it for you, what they think of you, or a friend or a loved one or somebody that you trust that knows you really well, and see where the discrepancies are so you can really get a really clear picture. Because sometimes our own brains try to kind of keep us from seeing the reality of things, even when we're super like open-minded and self-aware. So then once you do the assessment and you get your scores, she's got a page here on setting intentions, which I think is great because I definitely think we kind of get caught up in this like goals and forget the importance of intention. So I really like that she dedicates time to that and differentiates between goals and intention. She goes over here through setting effective goals, which I think is great. Just talking more about committing to your goals, reviewing goals, if goals aren't working for them, not feeling bad about removing them, and then breaking annual, monthly into weekly. So really this very simple step-by-step process of how to get from big goals, how to achieve big goals by scaling them down to little pieces. The other thing I appreciate that she does is while she focuses on attainable, measurable, specific goals, she doesn't use that SMART goals language. For me personally, I'm totally over that whole SMART goals thing. And I think just saying that your goals need to be measurable, realistic, and specific is much more palatable than focusing on this SMART goal acronym thing. So I like that she doesn't kind of get into the jargon of all the, typical, stuff we hear in the goal setting world. So you go through all this introductory stuff, and then it leads you to her annual goals section of the planner. You can see here that each of these, there's 8 categories. So 8 different areas of your life. They're all color coded, and these colors remain the same throughout the planner, which is like music to my ears, because as much as I love Inkwell Press, the one thing I think from a goal setting standpoint is where they fall down, and actually why we created a lot of our products for that planner, is that these color coded categories do not follow through to the whole year in the planner. And I think, well, I appreciate from Inkwell Press's standpoint, they like to have the variety of color that they do with their yearly palettes. I think keeping the goal portion of the planner color coded allows you to stay focused and recognize where your goals are at in each category. So personal is always yellow here in Makse Planner. Fun and recreation is always orange. So you kind of know, when you're using stickers, when you're using this book, that everything is consistent and you can kind of really stay focused on each area without having to go, wait, okay, now this month, personal's this color. Wait, what was my goal for that? It seems silly, but this simple, keeping the categories the same color all year round, I think is brilliant and simple and makes it much more effective. So you get this spot, a very big area to kind of write down your annual goals. And she has this little questionnaire, how will my life improve by reaching these personal goals? So kind of getting a little bit down into your why, but not having these like really long, extensive, deep questions. This is a very big space she gives you for each of these goals. And at first I was like, oh my God, I don't think I have this many goals in each area. But then I realized I think I can use this however I want. You could even, if you're like overwhelmed by this amount of space, you could get more creative with it. Maybe you have a picture you want to put there, or you want to write a quote or an intention there. You could really use the space however you want. But I think she gave such big space because there's really no way to tell how each person's going to use this planner. And maybe somebody has a crap ton of relationship goals, but they don't have a lot of personal goals. So, as a planner designer, it's you have to kind of make it for everybody. And so I think she does a good job of giving you enough space that if you have a ton of goals in that area, cool. If you don't have a lot, write big, or just be okay with having one goal or no goals in that area. So you obviously have a few pages to go through to write down your annual goals. And then you get into this cool 2-page vision board thing, which I think is really neat. I've always wanted to do a vision board, and I think I've done it in the past, but I never really put the time in. But I think it's cool to have it in your planner. So this may be something I actually do this year, is sit down and, write out things, cut out things, make this my little vision board. I love that it's in the planner. I think the cool thing about this planner so far is that, again, her whole point was to keep your goals at the forefront and not make your goal planner separate from your weekly planner. These two things need to constantly be interconnected, so that you're basing some of your habits, your daily routines, your schedules on your goals, so that they don't get forgotten. So having all these things like your vision board and everything in here kind of makes this a nice hub to make sure you're not ignoring your goals. So you got your vision board pages, which is really cool. She's got some goal setting tips here, and then we get into the meat of the planner and how it works. So before I talk about the pages here, just want to say one thing. I love the quality of the printing on this planner. So this is offset printing, not digital printing. At first I messaged her and I said, is this digital printing? Because it's so crisp. The colors are so vibrant and saturated. And I just was like, this is great, this quality of printing. And she said, no, it is offset printing. And that she used soy-based ink, which is also environmentally friendly. So props to her on that. So the quality of this printing is just really nice. I don't like when the printing looks dull or faded or not really saturated. So I love how crisp these colors look. So there's that. So if you're like me and you like clean, crisp colors and the nice quality printing, I think you'll appreciate that in this planner. So this first page, so her dividers are Mylar tabs where they're coated on both sides. The month is on both sides. The dividers themselves are not any thicker. This is just a normal piece of paper, page of the planner with the Mylar tab on it. So you're not gonna have like a thicker divider in the planner. So this first kind of start, you have this little like quote thing here, and these are the colors from your goal. So you'll see these 8 colors. I think there's more than 8, but 8 colors cycled through the planner. So we got January. So here is your spread. So it's very nice and clean. I love that there's a little bit of color, but not too much. And it is a Sunday start, which I personally like. I know some people like Monday starts, but I like Sunday starts on a calendar, so that doesn't bother me. You do have a quote each month over here. You have a nice sidebar for notes. You do have the next month ahead here down in the bottom. So kind of your standard month view, sorry, this is crooked, of a planner. She does have your holidays marked in there faintly, and these I believe we're making stickers for this planner. I was gonna say I think the Inkwell stickers we make fit this, but I can't remember because Matt's in the process of making these, and I think these spaces are not the same as Inkwell's width. So don't worry, if you buy this planner, we have stickers coming that will fit this monthly view. So that's your month spread. Now after you flip out of your calendar, the next thing you're going to go to is your monthly goals. So now you take those annual goals and you're breaking them down into monthly goals. So this is a 2-page spread here for your monthly goals. Again, you can see we have these 8 categories and the colors stay the same. And this is your area where you're going to take those bigger goals and break them down into what you want to achieve for that month. Again, you guys, you know, I always say I think less is more, but when I was listening to Sierra, she said, you know, she thinks the reason she kind of made this way where you're focusing on so many categories is everybody's different. Some people really thrive by focusing on all of this, and they are totally fine to keep their attention in different areas at one time. Maybe it's more heavily weighted in one area than the other, but they kind of like to have a goal, big or small, in every single area. And then she also said, which I agree with, that some people thrive more with a 1 to 3 goal or less goals. So obviously when you're making a planner, again, you can't make it for just one person. You have to make it knowing that everybody's a little different. So if this may be too many goals for you to focus on, like I most likely won't use every single category. But as I started to think about this, I thought, well, what I can do with this is I can write my intention. If there's an area of my life like health and fitness, I'm fine there. I don't have any goals there really. I just need to set an intention of some sort about how I want to kind of show up in that area of my life or what I want to focus on. It might not be an actionable task, but I can put something there that is reflective of what my, you know, kind of my approach to that area of my life. The other thing I thought you could use this for is if you want to do like monthly gratitudes in here. You could do to-do lists out here if there's something in any of these areas that need to get done for that month. So even though this is titled as goals, I think you could use this in a variety of ways. So after your calendar, you go to your month goals, quote up here. Next thing we get into is a notes and reflections page and a weekly action steps page. And at the bottom of each month, at the notes, I think this is month, or is it at the bottom of each week? It's at the bottom of each week. There is a little tip down here, which I think is really cool. So this is like the life coaching aspect of it, is she's kind of like coaching you through your goals. And she said the first, I think it was 6 to 8 weeks, the tips are very intentional in helping you kind of move through this process. So let me just read this one. It says, plan ahead. Dedicating 10 to 15 minutes a week to set your goals will give you more control, balance, and fulfillment. Set yourself up for success by determining the day and time that works best for your lifestyle to sit down and write your goals and schedule it in your planner every week. So again, she's walking you through this process by giving you a little tip each week here at the bottom. You can use this notes and reflections to just jot down. You can use it as a brain dump, maybe use it as a monthly mission board, or sorry, not mission board, vision board. You could, again, use it for journaling, gratitudes, to-dos, you know, anything, reflections from the previous month, the year. Anyways, it's just kind of this open area for you. Then you come over to the weekly action steps. And again, you can see here, you have these categories, all 8 categories, color coded the same. Now this is where you take, obviously, these bigger goals that were from the month that were then also based on the annual goals and break them down into action steps for that particular week. which I think is brilliant, and that's why we sell, like for the Inkwell Press, the weekly focus and different stickers, is because we want people to realize that you have to break these down into things you can do on a week-to-week, day-to-day basis if they're going to get done. You can't just put this annual or monthly goal out there and not take steps to manifest it. So love that this is in here. Again, if this is too many areas for you to focus on, use it for another purpose, for a to-do, for a gratitude and intention, something else. So once you get through setting your goals for that week, then you get into your week spread. So again, this is kind of what makes this planner unique, is that your goals are really integrated into your planner spreads, your actual weekly scheduling to-do list planner spread. So you can see this classic, or that's Inkwell language, the vertical is what we're used to. You have your lined columns, which I think is great that she did lines, because I know a lot of us really appreciate lines if you write crooked without them. So you have that. And then down here you have this extra little space to dedicate to maybe a separate category. You have your dates across with your holidays, a nice open notes section sidebar, and I love how she integrated this habit tracker here. Super cool. So from a color standpoint, you can tell this planner is fairly neutral. So there's not a ton of color, but there is a little bit of color, which I think is nice because it doesn't make it just grayscale, but it doesn't have so much color in it that you can't use planner stickers from anybody in any color, any month. So it's nice to have that variety. So the way the colors work is she has these 8 colors. Obviously there's 12 months, so some of these, a few repeat, but that you will see as a little bit of an accent color. So January, I think, is the blue here, I think. So you'll see that in the text, and you'll see it in the little habit circle. So that's pretty much the only place you see the colors. You'll also see it in the dates here, and then the day of the week. So there's just very subtle bit of color for each month. She does have a little blank header up here, obviously, that you can write in. So she'd use her stripe pattern, but very faint. So using a black pen, you could write right over that. We're making stickers for headers. You could stamp in here really nicely. So that's pretty cool that she left that blank, and you can do with it what you want. Then you'll see down here in this section, you have this little bitty red heart, and the heart symbolizes gratitude. So she wanted to focus to kind of draw your attention to that at the end of each day, writing a gratitude. Obviously it's a small space, so you probably just write a word or two that would indicate what you're grateful for. So then that's a week. And then we go into notes, reflections, and action. So it's very intentional. So at the end of the week, you're getting this chance to reflect in whatever way you want to. It could be a brain dump. Maybe you want some guided questions that you usually use to reflect, what you learned, what worked, what didn't, however you want to use this page. At first I was curious why she didn't have like guided questions on here to reflect on each week, but then I thought, yet again, when you're making this planner for all different people, everybody has a different need and a way that they learn and grow. So by leaving it blank, this allows you to reflect in whatever way you see fit. So you don't have to be stuck to these, whatever the planner designer's questions were. And then you have, based on your reflection, you can set your next set of weekly action steps for the upcoming week, and you have another tip down here. So this is how this planner works. You go weekly spread, reflect, goal set, weekly spread, reflect, goal. So that is what you're going to see throughout this planner. And then let's go to the end of the month. She does give you a monthly reflection with some guided questions, which are excellent questions. They are very similar to what you see in our monthly reflection inserts. So what was cool about going through this is I could see that her and I think very similar when it comes to coaching and goal setting. So it's very cool. Highly 2 thumbs up for these great questions here. Nothing like mind altering, but just like focusing on your wins, what worked, what didn't work, what did you learn, what are the adjustments you need to make, and then rating your month. So simple questions that you don't have to dig so deep into. Then you go to your next month. This month you have a quote on here, and then you see this next color. So you can see now we have the green from one of the goals categories. Well, I think that's a teal. In the day of the week, and the little dot with the date. Same thing here. Obviously you have your monthly goals, your reflect, and your action steps. Another tip down here. And then we can see this teal show up in the text for the date and then in the habit tracker circles. So that's that month. I'll just flip through the colors so you can kind of see how they show up. A reflection, a quote here. Then we have the more like lime green color, so that shows up there. And you can see it here and down here. We go to April. Now when you get to April, it's the end of quarter 1. So she has a little quarterly compass check-in. So whatever your previous score was, you kind of go through the exercise again and see how far you've moved outside. So the further out you are, the 10s, that's going to be a higher score. And she has you kind of walk this very simple exercise of assessing your progress in the previous 3 months. Then we go into the next month. This one is the gray color. See if I can go. So you got gray, gray here. And then we got a quote, Wayne Dyer, love Wayne Dyer. Then we go to yellow. The yellow is super cool. Just kind of want to show you the colors and how they show up in the planner. So a little yellow here and the yellow there. It's very subtle, but does give you that splash color, a quote, and then we go into this kind of orangey color. Let's see. So you've got the orange here and here. Then we're at quarter 2, so we have our quarterly compass again. Then we get to this reddish pink color. So you can see that show up here and here. Quote. Then we got the purple. I do like these colors. They're bright, but they're subtle, so they're not too whimsical. And again, they're showing up so little on the planner. It gives you a lot of room creatively. Another quote. Oh, okay, there's us measuring sticker sizes. I think this is like the blue. Let me see here. Yep, you got the blue. Blue, I think, yeah. So if you're using stickers from anybody, as far as the colors go, they're gonna do great because, I mean, you only have one color to kind of coordinate with. If you're a little bit neurotic about colors like I am, there's not that much to match. Even if you didn't care about matching, this is the only color that's showing up. So you have a lot of creative flexibility with that if you're a creative planner. Color here with the teal. September, we see the green again. So you kind of see how this goes. There's the gray again, and then got the quarterly reflection. And then at the end, we have a 2020 and a 2021 calendar, and then a bunch of just line note pages, which I think is cool. Sometimes when these planners put a ton of extras in at the back of the book, I never pay attention to them. So I can appreciate, like, who doesn't need more lined paper to brain dump? Then you have a little folder here. I don't know if it's a 3 or a 2. So you got 2-sided folder, and then you have the little accordion folder here. Oh my God, it's gonna be a long video, guys. So this is the vertical, and I think you guys will really like it. If you're used to a vertical planner and you do want to focus on some goals, and even if you don't want to focus on major goals, again, I think this is a great planner, especially if you're somebody that was with a planner company like Inkwell Press and you aren't liking the changes to the vertical that they did this year. This is a very smooth transition into another high quality planner, great paper, great construction of the planner, lined columns, so it's basically like you're used to. Even if you're not into the weekly action steps, use it for to-do lists, but you're still getting a very open spread that you can do what you're used to doing with. And her columns are 1.5. Inkwell Press's actual columns from dash line to dash line are 1.6, and their line is 1.5 long. Her full column is 1.5. So you can use any company stickers that are 1.5 long. Just know that if you have a sticker next to a sticker, they're gonna be flush. So when we're making our stickers for a Makse Life planner, we're making them a tiny bit narrower than 1.5 so we can create a little gap there so that they're not all squished together, except for with the headers. I'll go into the sticker stuff later once we get it all done. But that's the vertical. If you like vertical planning, I think this is a great planner for you. So let me just show you really quick the what do you call it? The horizontal. And then you can also see the other cover. So you can get the vertical or the horizontal in either of these colors. I freaking love this yellow. Yellow is like my new jam. So this is kind of like a, I know she called it something, but I can't remember. But it's not a bright yellow. It is a bright yellow, but not like crayon color bright. I don't know. I like it. I think it's cool. So I totally dig this color. Obviously, we have the same thing here now. So let me just show you. We don't need to go through all of it, but let me show you what the actual horizontal spread looks like. So if you are a Inkwell Press Flex user or an Erin Condren horizontal, this is going to be for you. So I like the way she did like the striped, not striped, alternating that. Again, these stripes are very faint, so taking a black pen over it, it's not gonna look busy. It's just very subtle. I like that she kept that built-in habit tracker here, a little note section. This is open, so you can do with it what you want. So if you like horizontal layouts, this is totally for you. I know a lot of people that like horizontal layouts, when they do their to-do list, they like to be able to write more versus being confined to the little narrow column. If you like this kind of planner, horizontal, or you're curious about it, make sure you check out her Instagram, her personal Instagram, Planner Friend, and you'll see how she uses it, because it definitely does help see how somebody uses this style, this layout, if you're interested in it. But everything else in the planner is the same. So I think this planner is excellent, guys. It's very high quality. Again, if you're coming from a planner like Inkwell Press, it's a very smooth transition. You're gonna get the same high quality, nice construction, great paper, very, layouts that you're used to, and then you have that added benefit of a integrated goal planner that's simple and effective. It's not too overwhelming. So let me just show you these side by side and just look at my notes and see if there was anything else I want to tell you. So these planners will officially launch on Black Friday. So if you want to wait till then to order, I believe she's going to be having some specials then. They are right now on her website for $68 for pre-sale, so you can get them now if you want to go ahead and pre-sale. They just aren't shipping yet. Her official launch, like I said, is going to be Black Friday. She has flat rate shipping of $5. And what else was I going to say? They are going to start shipping after the first week of December. So whether you order now or you wait till Black Friday, just know they're shipping after the first week of December. I think she said maybe like the 10th. I can't remember. I think it's on her website. But that, I think, is everything. Yes. There's also, I need to, before I end, I'll go grab the bookmarks to show you guys. She's got this really cool bookmark pack you can buy as well. But if you are looking for a planner that is high quality and has a goals element to it, I think you will be really happy with this planner. It is a chunky planner, so let me show you that. So it is a thick planner. I'll probably need to go grab my Inkwell to show you for sure so you can see how much bigger thickness-wise this is, because there's a lot of pages in it. With the, weekly action step page with the reflection, all of that, it's going to add more pages to this planner, so it is a little bit more of a bulky planner. If you guys follow Amanda's Favorites here on YouTube, I believe in her review, because she has power sheets and like all the planners, because that's what she does, is review planners. She goes over the like nitty gritty details difference between this and a couple other planners, from weight, thickness, all of that. So I wanted to talk more about the planner, just my first impressions of it and how it compares to Inkwell, because that's what I'm most familiar with. But if you want more like numbers, I believe Amanda's Favorites, her video is very detailed. So before I go, I'm going to grab the bookmarks really quick and an Inkwell Press to just compare for you. Okay guys, so I also wanted to show you her cool little bookmark pack. I don't know if you can see these very well, but it's a gradient of gray. There's my vision, monthly goals, and this week. That way you can set these in each area of your planner and easily flip to that. So your vision, I'd probably put that by your vision board or your annual goals. Then you throw your monthly goals one, obviously by your monthly goals page, and your this week in your, clearly that's pretty obvious, your this week section. And that way when you're setting goals and doing different things in your planner, it's very easy to flip when you're focused on annual, monthly, and weekly goals, to flip between these three sections, so it's easier to plan your weekly action steps. Sometimes it's something with Inkwell that I have a hard time with, is if I'm setting my monthly goals, I'm trying to flip back to my annual, and then I'm flipping to my weekly, and it can be kind of fumbling. So as simple as these are, it's a really cool feature to have this option. I believe this 3-pack is $15. They also have a cute little saying at the bottom. This one says just begin, this one says dare to grow, and this one says dream big, with the little hearts on there. So those are really cool. And then to show you really quick the difference between Inkwell, so you can see the coil size. Let me just use this one. is definitely different. So this is the diameter of the coil for Inkwell, and that's your Makse Life. And then you can also see the thickness difference here. This is a bigger, thicker, heavier book than the Inkwell. So if you don't like bulky planners, obviously this one might not be for you. But if you don't care about that, like I said, there's a tons of pluses to this brand new planner. So I will leave all the links down below. I will leave my affiliate link, so if you guys do want to use that, that's awesome. You know, I do get a little bit of a kickback from Makse Life when you do use my link, and that's much appreciated if you decide to do that. And again, I don't know the details about what her launch specials will be, but stay tuned for Black Friday to learn more about that, and head over to her website to sign up for her newsletter so you can stay in the loop with all of that. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I know it was a long one. And I don't know about you, but I think this is going to be my planner for 2020. And that's all, guys. I will talk to you in the next one.